Hello everyone and welcome back to the cave. I am the Bearded Padawan. This past week was weird. Really weird. Many of you were not probably able to tune into my live stream, but it went well. Had a very unexpected guest of a troll harassing me. So I guess even though I'm still not at 100 subscribers yet, I've become a successful YouTuber because I've gotten random anonymous hate on my first stream, apparently, so that was fun. In all seriousness, though, I thought it was hilarious. It's going to take a lot more than that to push me off my channel. And while I won't repeat the usernames this person chose, they were hilarious to me. I thought they were pretty clever, so... but today I went in search of the 10-inch T-Rex from Jurassic World at Target in Newark. Unfortunately, they didn't have any. However, the trip wasn't a total bust. I went with my drummer Jeremiah, and we obviously stopped for lunch at Raising Cane's. Like, where did you think we were going to go? Made it over to GameStop and pre-ordered something that will be coming out in a couple weeks, along with the San Diego Comic-Con pops, so you'll get to see that in a couple weeks. Then Jeremiah took me to a little... well, they had comics, movies, video games, pops, playing cards, just any... it was more or less like Toy Hunters almost, but a lot more stuff. They also had used records, which we'll get to that in a second. But I did have a blast at this place, so much as usual that I didn't film anything in there. Maybe next time I'll try and do that so you can see what this place looks like. That being said, I did pick some stuff up there today since I couldn't get the T-Rex, and this probably makes up for not getting the T-Rex tenfold. So first up, I did get one pop there, and that pop is this. The number 252 from Kung Fu Panda, Po with his hat. I love Jack Black. You know, like in Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, Year One, School of Rock. But my all-time favorite act of his is his voice work for Po the Panda from Kung Fu Panda. One of my favorite DreamWorks films. I really appreciate the comedic timing and just the tremendous job that the cast does with their voiceover work. And this little guy just looks incredible. Definitely glad I could actually find one of these. I think this is from 2016. There's a couple different variants of Po, apparently. The only two they have listed on the back are him with his little smirk and a kung fu stance, and then him with his hat here, and the only other pop they have listed is Tigress. But the fact that they had this one in, I was just like, I'm getting this. So I'll put this guy aside, because we're going to come back to him. Jeremiah was laughing at this because he was looking at Magic the Gathering trading cards, and after about 15 minutes, he realized that I had mysteriously disappeared and hadn't pestered him once. So he wasn't sure where I was even at in the store, which is kind of funny because it's a pretty small store for the amount of stuff that they have. So naturally, I was browsing through the records, and I literally only got through like a big stand of like the more rare stuff, and then their A through C bins. And here's why. So once I got to the C's, I discovered this copy of Heaven Tonight by Cheap Trick. You can see there's that side, and then the back. The biggest thing I like about this store especially is, as you can see, there's no price tag on it. And that's because they put it in the inside flap right here, just inside, so that way they don't damage the outside, which, you know, I think is a really great thing for them to do. It helps keep the outside in really good condition, and you know, for the two records that I did get, the LPs themselves just look incredible, especially with how old they are. But this is an original 1978 pressing. It has their ever so classic hit of Surrender, which, you know, they used in Guardians of the Galaxy, so naturally I'm a big fan. But the fact that I could find this, and this was $8, so can't go wrong with that. I did listen to it earlier, and it took me back to, seeing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 last year. And I'd heard it various times before seeing the movie, so it was really great to actually, find the full album. And now, for the big score. This is hands down one of the biggest Grail piece finds for my record collection I found at this shop. An original 1977 double LP of the soundtrack to Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and as you can see, it is simply titled Star Wars for this. You can see on the back here, it's got Darth Vader, and then if you open this up, which I'll show you, it's got various different movie stills. So, the fact that I could find this, and this was $20 for this original pressing, and that's still even cheaper than buying a brand new reissue of this at Barnes & Noble or Best Buy. So considering how old it is and it's an OG pressing, I'll gladly take this any day. And again, the quality of these records are incredible. I spun this earlier and it took me back to the first time I watched Star Wars, which wasn't all the way back in 1977, obviously, but you get the idea. So, Jeremiah got a handful of Magic cards, and the guy, rounded things off just because of the amount of cards he bought. So, I went to check out, and, you've got $20, $8, and a $10 pop, and the guy had, been very helpful explaining how things worked at the store. Not only did they have their main store, but they had a separate, giant room full of tables, and he was explaining how it was just kind of a public place. They do hold, card tournaments and stuff there, but, for all I care, if I wanted to go there with some of my friends and play Mousetrap of all things, we could just walk in, find a table to sit down at and play and not be bothered. It was totally open to the public to come in and play board games. They had a turntable there, so if you wanted to try a record out before you bought it just to make sure it was okay, they do that. Same policy with testing out video games and stuff, and the guy was just very welcoming and helpful. And since he said it was my first time in a shop, he knocked off the price on this. So I did get the Poe with hat Funko Pop for free, so again, this was a really cool store. And he said it was his bribe to get me to come back in, which he totally didn't need to do, because I plan on going back there. They had so much cool stuff. But yeah, if you're in the Ohio area and you can make it down to Newark, I highly recommend going to Maxine's Bargain Box, which is a totally weird name for this place. But it was so cool getting to go in there. I literally could have spent hours. Obviously didn't. But, yeah, there's so much cool, harder to find stuff in there. Definitely excited about adding these two to the collection and this to my stack of Pops. So that is it for this week. If you like what you saw in this video, please smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you right back here next week. I'm the Bearded Padawan, and may the Force be with you.